As we all know, Crash Tag Team Racing was a huge success. Yeah, I don't think this game was very good. It had good racing, but it was overwhelmed by just stupid bullshit. We weren't very happy that the company developing Tag Team had another game on their way. And this game triggered nothing short of an outrage among fans. So many people hated this game, claiming that it ruined their childhood. Back then, I was pretty skeptical of this game after seeing its trailers. However, when Crash of the Titans hit stores in 2007, I got myself a copy. And my fanbase might rage at me for saying this, but I like this game. A lot. Do you hear something? Oh god, it's a shitstorm! Run! So before I go any further, I need to address the elephant in the room first. This game received some very negative fan reaction, and I mean very negative. In fact, I'm sure that fans of my reviews will get pissed off at me for saying this, but I like Titans. I find this game to be very overhated. Now, let's slow down and explain. Before we start, let me say that I will try and be as unbiased as possible. I'm not going to spend my entire review talking about how people say that this game ruined their childhood, despite the fact that they're still children, or people threatening not to make my video thumbnails because I refer to this game as a reboot. This is going to be an honest, in-depth analysis, so if I find anything badass or anything shitty, I'll be sure to call it out. Now, instead of starting off with the gameplay like I normally do, I'm going to start off with the other stuff first, because most of the ridicule falls here. Crash of the Titans is what you'd call a reboot, something to kickstart a franchise. Really, Crash needed this. Crash's second generation was really missing a good game. Sure, we had Twinsanity, but I only consider that game average. The rest were pretty bad. As a result of this game being a reboot, Radical Entertainment decided to change the designs of the characters. This seems to be what irritates people most about this game. Now, the designs in this game don't bother me too much, although I will say that Radical did go a little overboard. Some of the newer designs look fine. Crash, Cortex, Engine, Coco, Nina, and Crunch all look enough like their old selves. Sure, Coco's got a melon head, and sure, Engine is gray, but I don't think it's that big a deal. Now, I will say that they went overboard on the designs of the Masks and Tiny. I actually kind of like these designs, but they look nothing like their old selves. Characters' personalities have also changed as well. Crash still speaks in his annoying blabbery voice from Tag Team, but it doesn't bother me as much. Crash doesn't seem as obnoxious as he was before. Coco still has her love for science, and Crunch is still a bad parody of Mr. T. Tiny Tiger has also been turned into a parody, but this time of Mike Tyson. I did find this a tad bit annoying, but he only appears for such a small fraction of the game, so no major harm done. Engine is still annoying like in Tag Team, though. He does have some good dialogue this time around, but most of the time he's just telling awkward jokes. However, this game features some very good voice acting. We still have Lex Lang, Debbie Derryberry, and Nolan North, but we also have some new voices as well. We have Aku Aku voiced by Greg Eagles, and John DiMaggio as Uka Uka. While I'm mostly indifferent to Greg Eagles' performance, I can say that I love John DiMaggio's performance in this game. His delivery is just so great that in many cases, he made jokes that I normally wouldn't find funny. Also, remember how I said Lex Lang had my favorite line read in a Crash game?
I've ruined the lives of so many. I can't be expected to remember them all.
John DiMaggio has my second favorite.
Stay behind and kill Crash.
Oh yes, I will kill Crash Bandicoot. Kill him forever.
The character's change in design is odd, and I don't think that certain characters made the jump particularly well. However, what you have to realize is that if the rest of the game holds up, this is at most a minor flaw. Does the rest of the game hold up? The story is, Crash and friends are relaxing in their new home on Wumpa Island. Suddenly, Cortex shows up.
Ha ha! I'm back, babies! Surrender to Cortex!
Mika, sucker!
Hey, genius, I can't actually hear you. I'm really far away, and I'm flying like a hovercraft or something.
Cortex captures Aku Aku and Coco, and takes them aboard his blimp. Crash manages to rescue Aku Aku, but Cortex escapes with Coco. Crash and Aku Aku continue to move through the forest until they reach the temple. The temple is the source of Mojo, which Cortex and Uka Uka use to control an army of creatures known only as the Titans. Here they find that Cortex is creating a machine known as the Doominator, which he will use to destroy Wumpa Island and take over the world. Cortex attempts to use the Titans to defeat Crash, but fails after Crash gains the ability to control the Titans. Cortex and Uka Uka retreat back to their base, but Uka Uka is not satisfied with Cortex's failure. Cortex is then cast out and is replaced by his niece, Nina Cortex. Nina continues work on the Doominator, and now it's up to Crash and Aku Aku to stop her. Throughout the game, your goal will be to move from point A to point B in the level. You control Crash as he has to fight off enemies. You have a number of new moves. Instead of spinning, Crash's main move is punching. However, Crash still has his spin move. Crash can also use Aku Aku as a surfboard to cover larger portions of specific levels, and he can also hold down the triangle button to do a stronger attack that can break enemy blocks. In these levels, you come across new collectibles, one called Mojo. By collecting Mojo, you can upgrade your attacks, increase your total health, or increase the time you can spin. You will need to get these upgrades. Why? Because in this game, you are tasked with having to control the Titans, which are also the highlight of this game. This game features a wide array of enemies known as Titans. You have to attack them as Crash, and when you damage them enough, they become vulnerable. After which, you can control the Titan and use it to power through enemies. Each Titan has a base attack, a charge attack, and a special move. Each Titan special is unique. Your special attacks are usually very powerful and can even kill the largest enemies in one hit. Of course, this is done at a price. You have a special meter. You can only use your special when the meter is full. It's good though, as it makes the game feel very balanced. This game is unique because it has two senses of progression, one that's gradual and one that's much more rapid. You gradually progress by collecting Mojo and making Crash more suited to take on the Titans. This game also rapidly progresses with the amount of Titans to control. On one hand, the game can feel like this, but on the other, it can feel like this. This presents a very good drive to get through the game, as the game is constantly throwing new things at you. Now, this game does have its fair share of flaws. Titans is more accustomed to the likes of a beat-em-up rather than a platformer. However, there are tons of platforming segments in this game, and on these segments you can't take your Titans with you, as your Titans can't jump. The platforming segments feel left over from older Crash games. I would rather that this game either allow your Titans to platform with you, or just to remove the major platforming segments altogether. Also, this game likes to spam enemies sometimes. This game doesn't spam enemies nearly as much as people say it does, but there are some cases where the game can drone on a bit. However, there were very few times where this really annoyed me, and I wouldn't call it a major issue. Some of the Titans don't feel very balanced either. Some Titans feel very weak, like the Stench. The Stench is literally nothing more than a downgrade of the Snipe. Meanwhile, other Titans like the Sludge feel OP as fuck. Against other Titans, they're a reasonable challenge, but against Crash, good god do these guys get annoying. Instead of blocking, they dip into the ground, and Crash has no means of attacking them while they're like this. The game does attempt to correct this problem by giving you free jack masks. Free jack masks allow you to stun a Titan in one blow. However, the mask is limited, so if you grab one and can't land a hit on a Sludge in time, you're fucked. To take one of these guys down, you'll need to dodge their attacks and time your moves very carefully. Or just get a friend to help you. Yes, for the first time since Bash, this game features co-op in its adventure mode. Let me summarize the co-op to you quickly. It's just so fucking awesome! Since certain areas of the level are difficult for two players to control at once, you can have your friend jump into your backpack, and you can escort them through the level. The co-op also definitely helps when going against groups of Titans. This game is also surprisingly long. In fact, it's a good 6 to 7 hours. Putting that aside though, it's got a lot of replay value. You can revisit old levels and try to increase your rank. You get a rank depending on how good you did in a level. In each level there are 3 side tasks that you can tackle. There's Minion Master, in which you have to defeat a certain number of enemies, or Combo King, in which you have to build up a combo. You can also try to find the 3 hidden spy bots in each level. If you complete a level and pull off all of these tasks at the same time, you receive a gold ranking. If you only get 2, you get a silver, and only 1, a bronze. You can also collect costumes. Every time you control a Titan, it is counted. When you control a Titan a certain number of times, you get a costume for that Titan. When you wear a specific Titan's costume, you can stun that Titan in one hit. I loved playing this game just to get all the costumes and gold ranks. The game also looks and sounds great. The models are all detailed and the environments look vibrant. As for the soundtrack, we have Mark Barrel composing now. This game has an awesome soundtrack, which is apparently copyrighted. As much as I want you to hear this game's soundtrack, I also don't want to get a copyright strike on this channel, so no Titans music today. Crash of the Titans has received endless amounts of hate from fans, mainly for how outrageously different it is. However, if you look past that, then you've got a very clever game beneath. Sure, it does have its fair share of flaws, but it's got some incredibly engaging and unique gameplay. Hopefully I've convinced you that this game is worth trying out. And if not, then there's not much more for me to say aside from
Crash still spins around, so shut the fuck up.
Crash of the Titans is a good game. Well, anyway, tune in next time to see Titans get a direct sequel as I review Mind Over Mutant.